very quick review, because a lot of these things are not that complicated, but I just wanted to make a short review so I can segue to our new topic. So last time we were talking about definiteness, right? And we said that what the ism can be definite and it also can be indefinite. Okay, so I'll give you the Arabic terms. So the definite is ma'rifa, ma'rifatun, and indefinite is nakira, 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 yeah, nakira, ma'rifa and nakira. Okay, guys. And we said that nakira is by default. Okay, so we assume what? Everything is nakira. So we don't have to talk much about this part. So for example, when we say rajulun, we say rajulun, it's a man. So this is nakira. Okay. Waladun, a boy. So it's nakira. It doesn't matter the gender. These are all masculine. And we say bintun, and a girl. These are all what? All nakira. Okay, and I told you then that by and large, indefinite nouns will have tanween, right? Rajulun, waladun, bintun, baitun, shajaratun, baqaratun. All of them will be with the tanween. Does it matter, guys, if it's tanween of dhamma? Does it matter if I say, so if rajulun is indefinite, what about rajulan, rajulin? Uh, does it matter? Hmm? No, it doesn't matter. Yes. So when we say tanween, it's tanween. So it doesn't matter. It will be still your indefinite. Then we quickly went through different types. So that means this is our default. So everything is indefinite. And then we talked about the definite, right? So we gave you a few of them. Quickly, we said anything proper nouns, right? Muhammad, okay. And then like Hamid, Hamidun, Muhammadun. So I'm gonna explain something, and then we have, uh, you know, anything, and we also talk about Makkah, even though it's a name of a place, right? It's still. Oh, okay, hold on, I made a mistake. Yeah, it's still what? It's a proper noun, so it will be considered as what? As definite. Now, I also mentioned last time, right, that proper nouns also have tanweens. Generally, usually it will be for the indefinite, but and I also mentioned that you have to understand uh, this is not the case all the time, especially the proper nouns. Is it clear, guys? No. And then we also gave you a whole bunch of pronouns, right? We said huwa. I'm not going to list all of them. Inshallah, you can look through the other ones. Huwa, hiya. These are all, any pronouns would be your definites. And we also give you ismu ishara, demonstrative pronouns. So for example, هذه, right? هذا, okay? And I think I give you ذلك and تلك as well. Okay, so you have to know them, their meanings. And then I think, and then we started talking about alif lam, right? There are other ways to make a definite, inshallah. There are other two ways you can make something into definite. We're not going to be talking about them. Inshallah, I might mention them later. So, but the main thing is, guys, what main thing is alif lam, because this is this is just like in English. This is a tool that you can make any indefinite nouns into a definite, right? And I think we went in details. For example, we had a rajul, we have a rajul here, rajulun, which is a man. We add alif lam plus rajulun, rajulun. And what happens, guys? We combine, okay? And we remove tanween. I went very in details explaining what removing tanween means. It means you keep whatever haraka you have, you just remove the double of it. So ar rajulu. And something then also you have to know how to pronounce, because sometimes you pronounce the lam when the letter is qamariya, and sometimes you don't pronounce the lam. Sometimes you say, right, ar rajul. Let me give you uh, another one. For example, al plus waladun. Huh? How do you say? Do you say awwaladun? Al waladun. And here, this letter is basically waw is huruful qamariya. That means when you have this kind of letter, you have to pronounce alif. I mean, you have to pronounce the lam. Okay, I think this is something that you already know from your reading classes. Now, so main thing to know, guys, main thing to know is when you have alif lam, tanween cannot exist. Okay, alif lam and tanween won't exist in a same word. Never happens. Uh, I'm gonna warn you something because sometimes you might get confused. For example, if you see something like that, you know, it says alfadun, right? If you're looking at it, you have to understand, you might think this is alif lam and you have a tanween. Well, no, that's not the case. This is not alif lam, right? What is it? This is hamzatul qata. This is not alif lam. This alif, which is not alif, is hamza. It is part of the word. Okay, so this is still indefinite. It means words. Now, if you add alif lam, then you will have alfaz. Then you remove your tanween. Okay, so just make sure you understand which alif lam, or it's part of the word or not. You have to understand that. Now, I think that's all we talked about last time, right? I don't know if I'm missing anything else. So we can start talking about adjectives. Before I start talking about adjective, remember we are still we're still talking about ism, which is we translate as a noun, right? Uh, and we said it has what? How many how many attributes? We said it has 4 attributes or characteristic, right? We said it has a gender, okay, definiteness, number. The reason why I repeat this thing because we will be in this phase for some time. And grammar. What we'll do is so far we have done gender last time, right? Last couple of lectures we went about genders. Alhamdulillah. Main thing to know about genders, guys, is tamarbuta. Okay. That is your main issue that you have to understand about the gender. If you have tamarbuta, by and large, that's your masculine, that's your feminine word. Doesn't matter, whether it's human being or not, doesn't matter. We went through this, right? And there are exceptions, right? There are definite exceptions. We talked about those things. Please review the previous lessons. And the main thing you need to know from the definiteness is al, which is what? Which is same thing as the. And other things, I think, inshallah, we understand, the proper nouns are definite anyway, pronouns are definite. I think those things are clear. But why we need to know about these two? Because these will be super important when we talk about adjectives. Because these two tools allows us to interchange between the gender and between the definiteness, okay, which we have already seen, and inshallah we'll continue. But what I want to tell you that um, we're going to be spending a little bit time in these two first, then take a little bit break and talk about some other topics, and then we'll come back because the numbers and grammars, they get a little bit complicated very fast. So we have to stop here, complete this, and then inshallah we will come back to numbers later. Okay. Now, when we talk about adjective, okay, when we talk about adjective, we mentioned that adjective falls under the parts of speech of isim. Okay, so adjective is same thing because it falls under isim. That means what? That means we're saying adjective will also have gender, it will also have definiteness, it will also have number, and it will also have what? The grammar, right? Something that I mentioned quite a few times, but make sure you understand. And just like we're only talking about these two parts right now, in adjective, we'll also in the beginning right now, we'll only be talking about the gender and the definiteness. Because as I mentioned, these things, we have to spend a little bit more time about the numbers and the grammars. So who knows how do we make adjective phrases? Guys, I'm going to quickly review. Inshallah, you guys already memorized them, you understand. Number one is what? Adjective comes first or the noun comes first when you're making. The noun comes first. Very nice. So you have a noun plus adjective. So next thing is what? What did we say? Adjective. Adjective does what? It follows. I like, there's another word I like, it copies. That's why I like to call it copycat, right? It follows the noun. How does it follow? In every four attributes. Okay, so basically when we say that adjective has all of these four attributes, that's not good enough. Okay, fine, adjective has all these four attributes, that's great. But then we also have to know that these attributes, these four attributes, has to match with what? It has to match with the noun that it is describing. We cannot have an adjective in any sentence if there's no noun exist. You know, noun can be by itself without any adjective, but adjective cannot be there without noun being there because it has to describe the noun. So that means that's why it kind of makes sense in Arabic language, because if adjective is describing a noun, well then, you know, it's from that perspective you kind of see that it makes sense. It would be nice if they agree with each other. Okay, so bottom line is what, guys? It follows, agrees, doesn't matter what word you use, guys, what word you use, that's not my point. The point is you have to know it has to match all four attributes of the noun. Okay, so because we're only dealing with these two right now, so that would be our focus. Okay, we will learn how to match the numbers and the grammars in the future lessons. So last time we said few things. For example, we said we wanted to say beautiful night, let's say. Okay, so how do you say night? Huh? How do we say night in Arabic language? Laylatun. Okay. Now I'm going to say something. You will find a laylun, and you will also find laylatun. Okay, you will find laylun, and you will also find laylatun. What's the difference? Okay, they're both same. You can use exactly the same way. By and large, this one means night, like nighttime. You know, it's just a night. And Laila, usually it can also mean night, but usually it means evening, meaning evening still toward the night part. Yes. So by looking at it, you know that it's not only, there's a difference in the grammar, right? So the Lailun would be masculine and Lailatun is feminine. Okay, so but the point is that this one has tamarbuta, so we have no choice from grammatical perspective other than assuming that this word is feminine, right? Now, so just keep this in mind. You have two words, lailun or lailatun. Now, I want to, so the adjective that we want to use is beautiful. So what is the word for beautiful? Okay, so Jami. Okay, so I have two words. This is a good point. Good, you guys, somebody wrote both, so that's good. Somebody wrote Jamilatun. By the way, I'm asking how to say beautiful in English, in Arabic. I'm not asking you to make the phrase. I'm asking how to say beautiful. So Jamilun, And somebody wrote Jamilatun. Here's the rule, guys. You don't memorize adjective or special adjectives with the ta marbuta. You don't memorize that because what the word is jamilun. When you say what is the beautiful, it's jamil all the time. You will not find jamilatun in the dictionary because at this ta marbuta we are adding it. Okay, so this is something that you have to for the noun would be different thing. For example, here the noun, it would be different thing. You have to see, you have to know which one is the noun, which one is an adjective. Just like I explained to you, maktab is office and maktabatun with tamarbuta is a library. So you have to memorize the difference. But for adjectives, you're not going to say, if somebody asks you how do you say small, you're not going to say saghiratun. Huh? That would be wrong. You will say saghirun. Sagiratun would be for something adjective phrase, which what we're learning. Okay, so keep that in mind. Jayyid. So now, guys, if we are making uh, if we are making an adjective phrase, we want to say what? A beauty full night. Now, let's just say yeah, a beautiful night. Jamilun, that's good. Okay, so I have Lailun, Jamilun. I have Lailatun, Latun, Jamilatun. Yes, good. Okay. So yes, good. I think everybody got it. So that's fine. Just remember, because if you're using this word Lailun, I have to stop using this one. Then yes, you have to say Jamilun. No choice. You have no choice. But if you're using this word Lailatun, then you have to use Jamilatun. No choice. Yes, that's the way. Got it? Beautiful. Now we're not done. If we want to say the beautiful, did I give you how to say haraka? Laylun jamilun. Laylatun jamilatun. Uh, how do you say day? I think this is part of your vocabs also. Yes, so we have two words for day as well. Just like you have two words for Layla, you have two words for day as well. One of them is Yom. Yomun would be a day as a whole, more or less include the night, even the whole day, right? That's usually what day means. But you have Nahar, which who wrote it? Yeah, Sister General. This one is usually, you can use it as a day, but usually use it as what? Daytime. So meaning, when you say Nahar, you are not including what? You're not including the night. So it doesn't matter which one you use. Give me a translation of this one. The beautiful day. Now, okay, maybe this one we should do together. If we say we have, yeah, somebody who knows, please have it coming. I'm just going to explain this one anyway. So we said the day is Yom, but we're talking about definite. We're describing the definite, meaning we're talking about the. We have a the, right? So we want to use the definite noun. So if the Yom is a day, so what would be the day? It goes back to our study that we have been doing since last week, which is very simple, guys. Any indefinite noun. As far as I know, guys, any indefinite noun. Just add alif lam, your life is good. So that means when I say noun, I mean in a broader sense, meaning noun, adjectives, adverbs, doesn't matter. Okay, so you have to. Jayid. So okay, that's fine. I gave you the day is Yom. So you want the day, I can add alif lam. I learned this. Al Yawmun. Do you say Al Yawmun right now? No, right now you cannot say Al Yawmun because of alif lam. The rule I explained to you. You have to say Al Yawmu. Here, guys, it's Yawmun. Al Yawmu. Okay, now I want to say beautiful. We just had this exercise here. We said Laylun. By the way, so this Yom, is it a masculine or feminine? Of course, it's masculine. There's no ta marbuta, right? And remember, even if it doesn't have ta marbuta, you are more than welcome to think this is masculine, even if you know that there are some there's a list of words that are feminine, even though it looks like masculine. Even if you make mistakes with those things, people will not go crazy on you, because everybody understand. For example, for some reason, if you think one of those words, for example, nar, you know inshallah, I'll give you one example. It's not that, it's not a big deal, you'll learn eventually. But by and large, if it doesn't have tamar buta, you have to think this is masculine word. So this is masculine. So now I have two words for beautiful. We have jamilun and jamilatun. So which one I'm going to be using? Of course, I'm going to be using jamilun. Now, if I say, so is that what we want? Al-yawmu jamilun? Why not? Somebody's saying no, because we just had this phrase here. Lailun jamilun. I don't understand. What do you mean sentence? I'm trying to describe. It should match the definition. Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. It has to match, because that's what we are saying. Okay, adjective has to follow the noun in every four attributes. So that includes gender, which we did. That also includes definiteness. Yes, yes, yes. So now I'm being forced to say al yomu al jamilu. Now we have a what? We have an adjective phrase, the beautiful day. Okay, you understand? No. One thing I want to mention, that when you say al yom, this one has two meanings. Important that you know this both meanings. So here, what does it mean? It means the day. But al yom also means today, like today, like al yom, today. ماذا تفعل اليوم? What are you doing today? Okay, so the context, inshallah, will remember, the language is always, always, always about context. Remember, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم. Right? I think that's the verse. Now, النهار النهار الجميل. Yes, you can say the beautiful daylight, something like that. Don't worry about context. Right now, we're just learning about the grammar rules. What does it mean? Do we use like that? That's not our concern right now. So, but for example, you want to say, how do you say hot? I don't know if I give you this. It's probably a good word. Hot. Har. Yes, good. Hot is a good word to, because actually this word I should, inshallah, maybe I'll add it if it's not in the list, because it also comes in the Quran. So the words har, harun. Okay, you have harun. There's few times I really dislike writing, putting haraka in this kind of situation, because remember, this is one of the most redundant thing to do when you have anything alif and then putting haraka alif here. It's really, really redundant. Number one, it's extra work for you. Number two, especially if you're typing, writing haraka is extremely, extremely difficult. Because why? What did I say? Before alif, it's always going to be fatha. So that just, there's no point of writing this thing. Okay, so once in a while, I will stop, and also tamar. But tamar with the rules, not everybody knows. Okay, so that's why sometimes in the beginning, I write it. But this one, especially, it's this. You have this alif already. There's no other way. It's very difficult to write the haraka. Yes, as for the tamar as well. This one, it will always, always will be fatha. You cannot change it. Okay. And by the way, since I'm in this topic, I always go out of tangents. SubhanAllah, I just hope these things are always helpful. Maybe this topic will be a little bit longer. Maybe it's not. Basically, what I want to say is, for example, few things you have to know. If you have ya, and if nobody writes any haraka before the ya, you always assume what? What do you assume? Kasra. Yes. Okay, these are it's not super important for your classes because you guys learn in Quranic Arabic where the haraka is all over the place. They will give you haraka all the time anyway, but it's just side note. So if you have, because sometimes if I don't write and you guys are having hard time reading it, and maybe you can always ask me anyway. Don't worry about that. But here, like putting a kasra is also redundant, but it's not all the time. But sometimes what happens is that if the haraka is not a kasra, then they will explicitly write something. Okay, they will write this one. If they don't write it, chances are you have ya, the haraka before that will be kasra. And what about, uh, for example, here? Huh? We have waw. What do you think would be the haraka before waw? Dhamma. Yes, there's no need to write. Unless there is a reason to write. Okay, if that could be sometimes when you have a fatha, it happens a lot of time. But if somebody's not writing it, you have to know this is the case. And alif, I already told you. So what do we know? This is something a very fundamental in Arabic language. Inshallah, you will see this. You will come across this issue many times in many different contexts, which is waw and dhamma, they are in a pair. Ya and kasra, they're in a pair. And what? Alif and fatha, they are always in a pair. Okay, so this fundamental, I'm pretty sure you guys know this from your tajweed things. This is how you make a mad, right? Remember, in Arabic language, there is only one mad, which is one alif, like suq, okay, jamil. In the Quran, the tajweed, you have extra mad for different reasons, right? You guys already know that. So these are, this is how you make it mad when you have this situation. When you have a haraka that is suitable for these three vowels before it, that's when the mad happens. But one thing in the Quran, sometimes you get a lot of confusion with this letter, because in the Quran, the mushaf, and most of the mushaf that I know, they usually don't write. They don't write, because this one can be alif like here, and this one can be ya like here. Okay, so usually they don't write the haraka, the dot for the ya, okay, at the end. So how do you know? The same rule that I just gave you. If the haraka before this shape, ya looking shape, is a kasra, what's going to be? It's going to be ya. That's, you have no choice. Okay, and then if haraka before this looking shape is a fatha, then you have no choice. It is alif. Okay, anyway, I think that's a bit too much extra time. Anyway, coming back here. So we have har. Har is hot. Jayyid. So now you want to say the hot day. You want to say, no, I want to make it a little bit interesting. Whatever context, guys, don't worry about the context. The hot fire. Fire is always hot, guys. Don't, I'm not, just leave me alone. Just translate. The hot fire. How would you make into an adjective phrase? Okay, I'm gonna leave the word hot here for you, har. So let's see if you guys can pull this one off. Lot of answers. So now let's see. I didn't see. Yeah, I think I saw one right answer, but I don't blame you. This one was tricky for sure, but I don't blame you. That's why I'm using this one purposely. So the first one is, we say the noun first. What is har? Sorry, what is fire? Fire is not. We learned this one, guys. Vocabs, guys. Vocabs, you have to, if you're really serious about Quran, if you really want to know Quran, yes, you need the grammar, without no doubt. There will be time when you know every single words in that sentence in the Quran, but you still cannot make the connection. You don't know what Allah is saying, because what the grammar is, you don't have the adequate grammar knowledge. It happens even till now. Sometimes it happens to me. I'm like, I have to think a lot what is saying, because the grammar the sentence structure gets so complex. If you're not paying attention to the grammar rules, you are going to have a problem. Okay, but the vocabs are super important, because what's the point? You know the grammars, you know the masculine, feminine, everything, but you don't know what Allah is saying. So you see, both of them important. Jade. So you say, we are talking about the, so we say anar. Now the hat is har. So, and we're talking about definite. So first of all, let me just write the word har here. So, okay, this is what we know, but we already know, we don't have to, think too much. We're doing adjective phrase. So this is masculine and this is definite. It's always useful, guys. You do what? You write these four attributes that you're trying to match. Right now, we only know two of them. So write two attributes that we know. So we know this is masculine, and we know this is definite. So that means what? That means, so now it becomes very easy. You know that your adjective has to have these two attributes. So it has to be. I'm gonna write this. Then you tell me what I'm doing wrong. Don't worry, I'm doing it purposely. Okay, so you think this is masculine and definite. Okay, so fine. So this is masculine, and then you write. Only thing you know, this is definite. So you have to add alif lam. Everything is good. So you think, subhanallah, after 1 month of class, finally I figured it out. I did it. Ustad, what's the score do I get? Do I get 100? Uh, I don't know. Because I'm a good teacher, maybe I'll I'll give you something. I'll give you, like, I don't know. I'll give you, see how good teacher I am. I'll give you 90%, because there's one thing you have to know, which some of you are picked it up, that the word nar, yes. Why tamar missing? Because, see, I'm going to explain. Don't blame adjective, guys. Do not blame adjective. Adjective is just, he's just has no clue about anything. He's just supposed to copy from this guy, just copy his paper, his exam paper. He don't blame him, because if you screw here, then he's gonna be in trouble. Okay, so you have to fix your noun. Once you fixed your noun, your adjective is just supposed to follow. So don't say why her doesn't have tamal, because we have to know what's going on with the noun first, because we made the noun mistake here. Okay, so we said the noun is what I wrote here. Noun is masculine. Is it? No, this is one of your exception word. The nar is not masculine. It is feminine. See, once you fix noun, then this guy just copies. So he's like, oh, okay, fine. Now you're right. So then you have to add your tamarbuta. Al naru al haratu. Understood, guys? Get it? So inshallah, I think you understand these things is very important. But bottom line is, we have to, when we are making adjective phrase, we gotta make things same. Like, we have to match them. Just copy and paste. And just to make things, inshallah, we'll be talking about this. It's just to, I'm just gonna quickly explain to you what does it mean for the other ones. It copies everything. The grammar, for example, whatever the context is, inshallah, we'll learn a lot about the grammar context. Remember what I said? I said the last haraka of this is always explains to you. Okay, we have a question here, but nar doesn't get them. Yes, because, sister, this word, nar, narun, is what? Is feminine word. This is one of those exception word. Same thing with jahannam. Same thing with what? I give you a list. As-sama, okay, sabil, all of these things, you have to know those words, even though there's no ta marbuta. That's why they are called exception word, the special words. I give you, I think there's like 10-15 of them. Very, very important words, guys. They come in the Quran way too often. You have to know that these words are even harb. What is harb? This, I don't know if I give you. Harb is what? War. Yes, war. Very nice. So this one is also feminine word. So this is also feminine, okay? So if you're describing harb, you have to know this is a feminine. Yeah, so here it's always going to get, see, look, interestingly, oh, subhanallah. here I don't have to put any haraka, guys. I'm trying. I don't know why I'm. This is something that you don't have to know. I'm only thing that sometimes once in a while I might not write all the harakas, but it's also something very nice for you guys to know, because I don't have to put any haraka here because you have alif, so it's going to be fatha. I don't have to put any haraka here. Why? Because the tamar it's going. You have to put, subhanallah. You have to put what you have to put fatha here. Okay, just inshallah, once you get used to it, this is something nice. Now, what I was saying is the last letter, the harak on the last letter is always defines the grammar. Okay, so this grammar, whatever the context, inshallah, we'll learn. So we said that adjective also has to do what? It has to copy the grammar as well. If we had kasra on the ra, on the ra, so we say an-nari. Guys, you have no choice. You cannot put dhamma here. You have no choice. This is what I mean by copying everything. You have to put fatha. It's like he's constantly checking on this guy. For some reason, you start you're just messing with his head. You put a dhamma here. It's like, subhanallah, guys, what are you doing? Then he has to quickly change. Then you put fatha here. Just to mess with his head, you have to put a fatha here. He has no choice because adjective he has to copy. Okay, so inshallah, I think you understand. These things will be super duper important as we go forward. I usually, so this is something I wrote. Inshallah, I'm going to give you this PDF. Here I just mentioned exactly what we already talked about, right? How to make a definite, indefinite. Inshallah, you can read them. Uh, Here's 4 things that I mentioned. But what I want to show you is the vocabs that I'm giving you. This time I'm giving you, looks like it's a lot of words, right? But inshallah, I think it's not that difficult because most of them are pronouns, right? Like huwa, hiya, anti, anta, ana, nahnu. Okay, so these are pronouns. Inshallah, you have to know them. And then I also give you your demonstrative pronouns, right? You have this hada, hadihi, dhalika, tilka. So these are all definite. Okay, so you have to know them. They are definite. So, um, but I also give you a lot of words here. So, for example, let's describe this one, the big tree. Okay, the big tree. So see if you guys can figure this one out. And for the word for tree is we have shajara. I have a shajaratu. Okay, so the first one, let me see. Ash-shajaratu al-kabiratu. Excellent. Then we have ash-shajaratu. Ash-shajaratul kabiratu. Yes, you just combine them. Very good. Ash-shajaratul kabira. Yes, good, brother Bashir. Excellent. Yes. So you see, you are getting this concept. So the only thing you have to know, the word for kabir was, don't ever think the word for big is kabira. No, the word for big is not kabira. The word for big is kabirun. There's no tamarbuta. Kabirun. Okay? But even though the word is kabir, because you're describing the noun, which is tree, and it has tamarbuta, you have to match the gender. First of all, just by looking at tamarbuta, you have to think this is feminine. You have no choice right now. Even if you make a mistake, there are some exceptions, but I'm not too interested in those exceptions. Even if you make a mistake, I will be more happy to see that that tamarbuta means feminine. Then slowly as you get more used to the language, and then you understand those exceptions. Because first we have to be very firm on the foundations. So you see tamarbuta, and this is a feminine, and now you're describing, you just learn adjective has to follow everything. So we are saying the tree, so you say ash-shajara, two, and then we have to alif lam, you say al kabira, two. We're going to wrap up the adjective for now here, and inshallah we're going to be talking about a new concept. So next topic, this definiteness, guys, is very, very powerful thing in Arabic language, extremely powerful. For example, we just had the word shajara, uh, shajara, right? Okay, fine, this is what, but just by itself, what did we say? It's always going to be, tanween with dhamma. We're not that interested, but we have to use this word in a sentence, in our speech, in some other way. That's when a lot of rules about grammar comes in. Okay, just word by itself, there's no grammar. You just learn the word. So now one of the grammar rule that we just learned is adjective phrase. Okay, so adjective phrase is one of them, because what's happening now, the word is not just by itself. You're you're using another word, then and then there's a relationship you have to understand, right? So we said kabir. Okay, so because of there's a relationship between these two, right? See, now this word cannot stand by itself. This word kabir is not independent anymore. It has to have some kind of relationship between the other one. So you have to know the grammar rules. And we just learned the grammar rule is what? That you have to match the gender and everything. So alhamdulillah, we say kabiratun. Shajaratun kabiratun means a big tree. And then we said how to make the big tree. And I'm repeating myself, you'll see why. And you say ash-shajaratu al-kabiratu. And this is all happening because there's a relationship between two words, right? If it was by standing by itself, we don't have this issue, right? Now, this definiteness, these definites, alif lam, and the definite, the whole concept of definite is very, very powerful in Arabic language. Why? Because in order to make a sentence, so this would be our new topic, inshallah. Sentence is a big topic. We're not going to be talking too much about this right now. Inshallah, we will be learning a lot about sentence as we go, because guys, there are two types of sentence. Since we're talking about sentence, one is nominative sentence, nominative. Another one is verbal, and as you know, the verb we won't be touching verb, long time, right? So we'll be focusing on nominative sentence. Uh, by the way, I'll give you how do you say sentence? Sentence is jumla. Now, sentence in English does it have anything to do with masculine or feminine? No, sentence is a sentence. But in Arabic, does it have something to do with masculine and feminine? Yes. Is it a masculine word or feminine word? Sentence. We have no choice. You see tamrabuta, you have to think this is feminine word. Yes, that it will be a feminine word. Nominative sentence. What's the difference? Difference is the nominative sentence starts with a noun and the verbal sentence starts with a verb. Simple definition, very, very simple. And that is the definition. Honestly, that is the definition. I cannot think of any other difference. If the sentence starts with a noun, it is a nominative sentence. And if sentence starts with a verb, that is a verbal sentence. It has nothing to do with whether the sentence has a verb or not. Okay, so inshallah, when we talk about verb, we'll talk about this thing. As long as it starts with a noun, then it is your nominative sentence. So the way we make a sentence in Arabic language, it is extremely simple if you have come this thus far. If you have come so far, if you understood everything that I'm saying so far, you will be so glad that making a sentence is very, very simple. Only thing you have to know, because it has to start with a noun, right? That's what we said. Then we say first word is definite. Okay. And the second, I'm giving a very loose definition, guys, just to get your mind open. Second word is what? Indefinite. So if you understand what definite means, and if you understand what indefinite means, if you know how to make something into definite, if you know how to make something indefinite, if you following everything through, then you're like, this is so easy. And yes, it is very easy. So to give you an example, I'll just give you an example from here. We have ash-shajaratu al-kabiratu. And we said this means the big tree. Based on this definition, the first word is definite, yes. The second one is indefinite, but if I remove alif lam from here, so if you remove alif lam, then the tanwin has to come back. This is something that this is not the topic. It's something you have to know already. So this is something we have to be very comfortable understanding. Don't, if somebody asks you to remove alif lam, don't leave it like this. We're gonna run into a lot of problems, because having one dhamma like this, it has other significance. So we have to put tanween right away. Just by doing that, based on this definition, we have constructed a sentence. So if we say ash-shajara Ash shajaratu kabiratu kabiratun. This is a sentence means the tree is big. Okay. Uh, yes. Can you guys see both of them? Yes. See the difference? Oh, I already moved it here. So let me put those things back so you can contrast. Okay. We have ashajaratul kabiratu here. That means the big tree. And if you want to make it into a sentence, you want to say the same thing, but you want to say as a sentence, you will say ash-shajaratu kabiratun. The first one is definite, and the second one is indefinite. And if anybody studied with me before, you know my infamous or famous, whatever you want to say, is D plus I is equal to sentence. Okay. This is asal, this is default, this is the original case. There, in Arabic, remember, most of the time, if I give you a rule, that just think there might be an exception. But in this level, we're not too interested. When the time comes, inshallah, I will explain to you when something are different. But by and large, this is something that you have to understand. Inshallah, next week we'll go more details about the sentence. We'll talk about different parts of the sentence and everything. But right now, this is the concept that I want to put in your mind, that something having the definite is very, very big part of Arabic language. It plays a big role, and you can see what kind of role it's playing. Something being definite and indefinite, it can change. There's nothing else you're doing here. You just remove the alif lam, you're making it into a sentence. Okay. So now, is that all? No. One more thing you have to do is that it has to, sentence also has to match gender. There are other things, but right now, guys, that's all I'm going to mention about sentence, because we're going to have a very big topic about sentence. It has to match gender. It kind of makes sense, right? For example, most of the time the sentence would be, adjective sentence anyway, because you can have an adjective in two different ways. You can have adjective as an adjective phrase, like what we have here, or you can have adjective as adjective sentence, what we have here. But end of the day, it is what it is, an adjective. So if you're going to be saying, for example, if you said the beautiful girl, of course you already learned what to say. Al bintu. You cannot say jamilun here anymore, right? Jamilatun. Now you're learning Arabic language. You have to be very comfortable with this concept about the gender, because it's very, for some reason Arabic language is very, very picky about genders. There's no way out. You when you learn the verbs, you will see the genders all over the place. So you have to be very comfortable thinking the idea that maybe we have to match the gender, because you're talking about girl here, female person. Okay. uh, which is a feminine. You're describing it. If I'm going to be describing something feminine, I should be using a feminine adjective. This concept is there. Sorry, I wanted to do an adjective phrase, right? So al bintul jamilatu, that means the beautiful girl. But see, now you are saying the same thing, but you're saying it in a sentence. So the concept of the gender should not go out of your mind. Whatever the other rule is, you still have to, because you're trying to think like Arabic language perspective, right? You're trying to think from the Arab's mind, right? So the concept of gender shouldn't go away, because you're still describing, you're saying, instead of saying the beautiful girl, you're going to be saying the girl is beautiful. So why should you're still describing this beauty, is still describing the girl. So the gender concept should not go away from your mind. Okay, so I want you to think from that perspective. So in that case, only thing you have to do is D plus I, guys. The first word is definite. Right now, think like this, take a good nap, sleep on it. Inshallah, you'll be fine. When times comes, I'll wake you up and I'll tell you there's some exception. But right now, that's all I want you to think. So the first one is definite. Al bintu. The second one is indefinite. You say jami. Do you say jamilun? No, you're still describing bint. Jamilatun. So here's my D plus I, here's a D, and here's I, and we make it into sentence. So we say al-bintu jamilatun. Now somebody translate this one. The boy, because it's not fair, we're always saying the girls are beautiful, subhanallah. The boy is, I don't know, beautiful, handsome, whatever, cute. Use the same adjective. The boy is beautiful. Remember, you have to know first of all, is there a sentence or is it adjective phrase? This will, inshallah, help you because when you're listening to, maybe you're thinking, alhamdulillah, that's easy, I understand. But once you start writing, thinking, maybe that would be even better. Okay, first of all, you have to, first question things is you have to see this is a sentence or this is a adjective phrase. So we have E, so this is definitely a sentence, right? Yes, okay, so that's good, sister, you're corrected, very good. That's right. Yeah, so if it's a sentence, so what is the rule? Rule is D plus I. Right now, make your life easy. So the first word has to be definite, and the second one has to be indefinite. So I saw a lot of right answers. Also, few wrong answer. Al waladu jamilun. Yes. Al waladu jamilun. Very good. Al waladu al jamil. Yeah. If we say al waladu al jamilu, who can translate this one? Al waladu al. You're not wrong in terms of meaning. There's a meaning to this one. So it's still Arabic language, but what does it mean? If we say al waladu al jamilu, yes, no, the beautiful boy. Yes, it will be the beautiful boy. But as soon as you remove the alif lam, guys, subhanallah, remove everything here. You say jamilun. Then you are talking about. Okay, good. And remember, when we say this concept about alif lam and tanween back and forward, this is something you have to be very comfortable with. Something that I cannot mention all the time, although I kind of like a broken radio. Sometimes I do mention things all the time, but something that you have to know. If it's alif lam, you just remove tanween. If that's not alif lam, well, you need to have your tanween back, right? So I think you guys are great. I think that's fine.